We experience the world as a continuous fabric. From the stars down to a grain of sand, we assume the physical world is made of a material that can be divided and scaled forever. In a purely physical universe, our logic suggests there should be no ceilings. Infinite fuel should produce infinite velocity, and a powerful enough microscope should reveal infinite layers of depth. For centuries, science operated on this premise. There was no reason to believe the universe had hard boundaries built into its construction. In 1927, the leading minds in physics gathered to address a growing problem. As they pushed their measurements to the extreme edges of reality, they didn't find an infinite expanse. They found walls. They discovered that at a certain scale, particles stop behaving like solid objects. These stops are difficult to explain as physical properties of matter, but they are common features in a computational environment. The fundamental limits of the universe, the point where space and speed simply stop, align with the hardware constraints of a rendering engine. By viewing these physical boundaries as processing limits, the structure of the cosmos begins to look less like an accident of nature and more like a deliberate optimization. We can test this by looking for the smallest possible unit of space. Past the level of atoms and subatomic particles, the smooth nature of reality vanishes, revealing a discrete geometric grid. This chart tracks the scale of the universe down to its absolute floor. At 1.6 times 10 to the negative 35 meters, we reach the Planck length. Below this threshold, the equations defining distance and position fail. Physical space ceases to be a meaningful concept. This means the universe is not a smooth continuum. It is composed of tiny, individual chunks that cannot be divided any further. Our reality has a fixed spatial resolution. Space itself is built from a grid of pixels. If space is pixelated, we should find a limit to how fast information moves across that grid. Light is capped at 299,792,458 meters per second. In a physical vacuum, there is no mechanical reason for a speed limit at all. But in a computer, the processor can only update the state of the system during specific clock cycles. This diagram shows a particle moving through a grid at the maximum allowed rate, 1 cell per tick of the clock. This is what we call the speed of light. The universe updates its state 1 spatial pixel at a time. It cannot propagate information any faster than its internal refresh rate allows. Nothing travels faster than light because the universe lacks the processing power to calculate changes at a higher frequency. We see this same limit in how much information the universe can store. When we compress matter into its densest form, like a supermassive black hole, the fundamental physical laws of storage completely change. We expect the capacity of an object to be determined by its three-dimensional volume, but black holes follow a different rule. This is a visualization of the Bekenstein bound. It shows that the maximum amount of information a black hole can hold is limited by its two-dimensional surface area, not its internal volume. The universe stores data in 2D blocks, much like a digital hard drive. This storage limit creates a hard cap on the maximum density of physical reality. The absolute limit of matter behaves like a storage device reaching its capacity. When you try to cram in more data, the system hits a hard wall. Spatial pixels, a cosmic refresh rate, and a memory storage limit. These aren't random physical laws. They are optimizations designed to save on processing power. This realization changes our position in the universe. This reality is a computational construct designed for efficiency. It forces us to ask why those calculations are happening. In this framework, biology is not a cosmic accident. If the universe functions like a computer, then consciousness is a necessary component of the architecture. Modern software only renders the environment when a user is there to see it. It saves energy by ignoring what isn't being observed. These hardware limits suggest that consciousness isn't just a passenger, it is the trigger for the render engine itself. The universe isn't a cold, empty machine happening to us. It is an active system, rendering its laws and its light for the only thing that can give them meaning, the observer.